This incident happened about 8 years ago. At that time, I was working at a furniture company as an admin. Because I frequently commuted to work taking about 1 hour each way, I planned to rent a house near my workplace. The housing was a 2-story terrace type and was newly occupied for about a year, with affordable rent that I could afford together with my siblings. After living in the house for a few months, I started to be disturbed by something that I myself was not sure about. When I slept, my mattress would often get wet in certain corners. A few months later, I experienced it again, but this time it was not the usual water, it was worse. At that time, I was alone at home as I came back early from the office while my 2 siblings came back late around 8 p.m. I laid down on the bed and fell asleep. I left the lights on because I was so scared. Suddenly, I woke up startled as if someone was throwing a stone at the window, but the curtains were still closed. When I heard the noise, my eyes widened and I tried to listen if there were any other sounds. Indeed, I heard more sounds of stones being thrown at the window, as if using small stones, and it gradually became louder. This time the thing knocked on the window again. I was so scared at that moment, and I tried to muster up the courage to bring my ear closer to the window curtain to listen if it knocked again. After a moment, it knocked again, this time very close to me. I felt like at that time it was sitting outside the window. I was sure that the sound was clearly there. I was too scared to open the curtain to see what was knocking outside. No, I don't want to. It turned out the clock showed 10 p.m. already. I quickly called and asked where my siblings were, whether they had returned. Why, my siblings asked. I told them to come back home. I felt very scared, as if I was being disturbed, but I didn't want to tell them now. You come back, then I'll tell you, I said as I waited. I asked my 2 siblings to come back home as soon as possible. My 2 siblings were nearby in the area having dinner. With fear, I sat near the head of the bed, anxiously waiting for them to return home. When they arrived home, they knocked on the door and entered. Only then did I tell them everything, and we decided to call in an expert so that we wouldn't be disturbed anymore. As the expert began his work, there was a sound like something heavy from a high place in the upper room. We were all surprised and paused for a moment, looking at each other. The expert continued his actions, and this time there was a sound as if a door was being slammed. The expert continued until he finished. After that incident, I felt calm in my house with no more fear. The expert mentioned that the entity disturbing us was actually inside the house, and it was targeting me because I was the only woman there. He advised me to remember to pray for protection before sleeping. Thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to support and subscribe my channel.